Hello Redditors, welcome back to Tales Against Humanity. Now, let's get started. In today's episode,
that is really not what technology is for. About a year ago, I got a call from a user that had a picture sent to them from a customer that they could not open. She just was double-clicking on the file and it would not open in the standard photo program that they used. They emailed it to me to resolve. I told them that I did not recognize the extension and to please ask the customer to resend the photo in a different format. They asked me how to do that. I said simply email the customer back and ask them to change the format to something like a GIF or JPG format. They said that did not work and that they still could not open it. I asked, so what did the customer format it to this time? She said I changed it to a JPG. I asked how could you reformat it if you cannot open it? She said I renamed it to pic1.jpg. Shaking my head I said, that is not how reformatting works. She asked, can't you just do it? I said no, I do not know how. I am not familiar with that format. I will have to research it a minute. After about 2 minutes of reading up on the HEIC format after a quick DuckDuckGo search, I see that it is a simple iPhone picture format. 2 minutes more and I find a free online converter and, bingo, was able to convert the file. I then emailed the new JPG back to the user and sent them a link and instructions how to use the website, which was basically upload the file, press a convert button, and then download the JPG. She responded thanks. But I will just send it to you to convert from now on. I retorted, I am sorry, but that not is what technology is for. I will be glad to locate a codec so your program can open it or a small program that can perform this on your computer and even give you training on how to do this yourself, but I will not be taking on the added responsibility of opening problematic files for you on an ongoing basis without approval from my boss and yours. Would you like me to go ahead and contact them to discuss the matter? She ended with no thanks. P.S. The company did not want to spend the 99 cents that it would take to purchase an add-in to Photos in Windows 11 to handle the file format easily. So, I downloaded a small app that would reformat the file easily, installed it, and taught the user how to use it. Her response was, that's it? That is all I have to do? Yep, yes, it is. Story 2. Tales from the Complicated Complex, Fixing a Lift Phone. You know those emergency phones they put in elevators and lifts? Well, that reminds me of a story. Cast in crew. $Me, expert network tech, phones run on magic. $Pete phone guy, can manage the mischief by said magic. $Security has a big keyring, impressed by magic. $Lift ADA compliant chairlift to aid in wheeled guests being able to enjoy an upper deck view at the sports ball arena, magic abilities unknown. We'll start with Pete, for that is not his name, is a phone wizard as digital lines were his realm and the analog PBXN before. He had to replace the rescue/emergency phone as it had gotten just a wee bit waterlogged after the monsoon in the area and I was voluntold to tag along as I was the least qualified to assist in the matter. Pete did all the programming and demonstrated how it could be set it to dial the various security and new emergency numbers 01189998819991197253 while also not taking inbound calls, etc. After lots of beeps and boops and a successful test without raising a 4-alarm fire, we found it would do the needful whenever the important button was pressed and should be able to even when there's water pouring all over it. I think he needed a screwdriver or something, so I pop into the lift, hand it off, and the door goes slam. We button up and then try to exit stage left, but the door politely said, "You shall not pass." Imagine learning the hard way that the door is auto-latching and has no internal release. I fell for one of the classic blunders. I look up, nothing to climb out from, and we consider riding up, but the problem is the same, high-wall doors, no exit latch/button/keyhole/etc. Thankfully, this was the era of the modern cell phone, so we called $Security to assist in a certain key turning process and a short jingle jangle later, the lift key is now on the proper side of the door, we were set free. We know $Security was laughing at us both before/after the rescue and the guy was working hard to hold back the smirks. I learned that some kind of object like the toolbox always goes between you and a door when working in maintenance and or to outsource that problem to the actual experts outstanding in their fields. Story 3. Make sure to inform your IT department before doing any major remodeling. Medium. TLDR, if you tear out all the network cables, your network won't work. Who knew, am I right? I work for a decently sized chain of repair shops. One day, we got a ticket from one of the newer locations, a location we acquired 6 months prior. Subject: 2 of our computers are offline. Text of the ticket: everything was working fine when we left on Friday. But when we got back, 2 of our computers and our Xerox were down. We have customers waiting in the lobby. Please address. This kind of thing happens pretty often in our stores. The cleaning crew comes in over the weekends and sometimes they'll bump the power cable to the switch in the front office, knocking the machines offline. I figured that was the case and called them, expecting this to be an easy fix. Here's how that conversation went. Me: hey, this is IT, calling about that ticket about the offline PCs. Can you tell me a little more about what's happening? The store manager: yeah man, 2 of our modems, this is what half of our employees call computers, for some reason, are down and we got a lobby full of customers. What do you need me to do? Me: can you go trace the Ethernet cables on the computers that are affected? The box they're connected to probably got unplugged. Once I described the Ethernet cable for him, he did so. Manager: they're all unplugged, man. Where should they go? That one stumped me. Me, shocked and surprised: unplugged? What? They should go into either the wall or the switch. Why are they unplugged? Manager: oh, they probably did that over the weekend when they were remodeling. Me: hold up. Remodeling? What all got remodeled? Manager: the entire front office. They ripped the walls out completely and moved a ton of stuff. It looks like a whole new building now, at least inside. Me: who did the wiring? I'm not the head of our department, so I don't know everything going on, but I knew we didn't have our wiring crew scheduled to go to that store over the weekend. Manager: I dunno, the electricians? Look, where do I need to plug these in? Me: let me call my manager real quick. I end up calling and talking to our IT director, who told me he had no idea the store was being remodeled. He called the person in charge of remodeling and asked her what was up. Here's how that went. IT director: so, who did the wiring in that store that got remodeled this weekend? Her: Kenny, the company electrician. IT director: no, who did the network cabling? Who ran the Ethernet cables? Her: what's an Ethernet cable? Note that this isn't the first time we've had this conversation with her. She was notorious for pulling this crap. This right here was just the straw that broke the camel's back. IT director: hold on a moment, let me call someone real quick. He proceeded to call the CEO and tell him the full story of what's going on. A few minutes later, we're all CC'd on an email to the head of the remodeling team that basically said inform the IT department before you do any remodeling. The store itself was half a day's drive for our wiring crew at the time, so we hired some local contractors and paid an emergency fee to get them there the same day to run wires. The story doesn't end there, though. The same store was scheduled for more remodeling, which we were made aware of. We just weren't told when it was going to happen. Until we got a ticket on a Friday at 4:45 Central that the store was being remodeled over the weekend and that we needed to have it wired and ready to go by Monday morning. The store in question was in Eastern Time, which meant it was already closed by the time we were notified. This resulted in another call to the CEO, who sent out yet another email. This time it said something along the lines of inform the IT department 2 weeks before you do any remodeling. We never had issues with that lady again. Story 4. Apparently our computers can reproduce through binary fission. Short. We just finished our 6-month inventory of all the hardware and equipment in all of Stupid Industries LLC. We are only 4 days late getting it done. A very fascinating thing happened. We had 35 PCS of a particular make/model number. But the company only ever bought 34. So this brings us to an interesting situation. I would totally understand there being a computer missing out of the inventory. There's actually 9 laptop computers missing that were last issued to now former employees, and stupid industries isn't going to take them to small claims court over them. But no. We seem to have an extra tower that seemingly materialized out of nowhere. We spent the day entire going through the repair logs of these 35 towers looking for anything weird. Turns out the same box got replaced under warranty twice. And in late March of 2020, the first time Dell told us that we didn't need to send the motherboard back to them and they would send a replacement motherboard and case. About 4 months later, one of us apparently got eMachines to replace the case/motherboard again. The second time around, we actually sent the computer back to them. The cause of this was twofold. First, this happened during the great COVID lockdown. The manufacturer wasn't accepting returns on certain customers. They decided to just take our word for the bad part and ship us replacements. The other cause was that the case/fried motherboard was put into the recycle pile and someone pulled it out of the recycle pile because the case/mobo were still under warranty, threw it on the test bench and it failed and sent in a ticket to get the case/mobo replaced. Once they got the new case/motherboard in the mail, it was assembled using spare parts and put into service. That's a giant oops and unintentional something. Theft/wire fraud. Legal contacted our sales rep with the computer company. He got a good laugh about it. Apparently it fell under shipping problems and COVID madness. He turned around and sent us the bill for the parts and gave us 90% off.